You see that? They throw in cars. How am I not to see that? Ah, the Michael Bay filmmaking motto. When all else fails, just blow more shit up, throw more shit at the viewer, and that way they won't realize that you pretty much have lost the fucking goddamn plot. I'm John Rant with the retro review of Bad Boys 2, Electric Michael Bay Car Blowing Up Boogaloo. Oh, where to goddamn start with this fucking fiasco? Well, it took 8 years for a sequel to Bad Boys from 1995 to come out. Yes, 1995 to 2003. That's 8 years for those of you that aren't math majors. Ding! And it would take another 17 years for the third one to come out. And Bad Boys Ride or Die only is going to take 4 years to come out. Wow, maybe they're realizing, holy shit. We have guys that are getting up there in age, and we have this franchise that has been going on so goddamn long that many world events occurred when the second one actually happened. It's actually baffling that it took them this long to do a sequel and that they did one this goddamn poorly. I'd like to know what you guys thought of Bad Boys 2 in the comments, and while I fully recognize that action comedies are meant to be both funny and contain action and explosions and all that stuff, this is Michael Bay at the worst, at the absolute worst of his powers, where he just says, I'm just going to blow more shit up. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you do it for about 2.5 goddamn hours, and you also stretch shit out to its motherfucking limit with an attempt at a dramatic storyline, one of the worst goddamn written villains ever. Another guy that could have been a really good villain, all made in Taiwan. That guy, that guy that was in Armageddon, he's really good. There was a lot of talent on this cast, and god damn it. And again, they had, they had 1, 2, 3, they had 4 writers. They had 4 more writers for this. 4. They had 4 writers for the first Bad Boys, which was terrible. But yeah, you had the Weberly twins or siblings or whatever. I don't really fucking goddamn care. They could be kissing cousins for all that matters to me. The Sixth Day. Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger and Clones? Yeah, that movie. Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, I Spy, and National Treasure. Ron Shelton had something to do with this. He did Bull Durham, that is, or Durham, and the original White Men Can't Jump. The good one, not the bullshit Hulu version. And Jerry Stahl, who did TV and also a project called Urge. So yeah, Will Smith returns as Mike Lowry, and you have Martin Lawrence returning as Marcus Bennett. It's so, oh god, this is so stupid. This movie is so fucking stupid from the word go. And there's nothing wrong with doing stupid action comedy. You just can't make it this goddamn stupid, to the point that there's the panning shots where they're looking up and everything, and they spin around and round, and will this deja vu never end? And sweeping camera shots and all this, and it wasn't fancy. You don't even know. I wish that this movie had been sent to the depths of Tokyo. You had, Hector, he's in love with Lonely Johnny, Tapia, Jordi Mola, who's in Riddick, and actually has been good in other stuff. You also have Gabrielle Union, who is a good actress, a capable actress, certainly wasn't allowed to be here. You have Peter Stormare, who was Alexei, all made in Taiwan, and Teresa returning once again as Teresa, because apparently they still don't require her to remember another name. And the Captain Howard, Joe P., as I'm just going to call him, since I always butcher his last name. You had Michael Shannon in this as a KKK member and goofy hair. John Seta, Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins is in this. Those that are deep cut music fans, I guess he was a musician in the same sense that some people are considered musicians. He wasn't for me, but he certainly had an impressive look. And John Sally. Yes, John Sally's in this. I know. I'm surprised too. So yeah, after the first one was about stopping a heroin shipment and protecting Tia Leone from harm, didn't protect us from the harm of her acting, we get this, where a bunch of ecstasy shipments are, just overflowing in Miami. People are passing out or ODing in clubs. Well, we see one person do that, and then we get takeovers from, they call him Cuban Pete. He's the king of the rumba beat, but actually his name is Top Papaya. Okay, I didn't do that right, but whatever. Cameron Diaz wasn't in this. God, she looked great in the mask, didn't she? So, let's talk about the budget. The budget was $130 million. In Today's money, that'd be $221.5 million. So they spent a lot because the first one cost $19 million, which in today's money in 1995 would have actually been $39 million. But I talked about that on the Bad Boys review. $46.5 million opening makes sense. People are waiting for a sequel. $79.2 million in today's money. $138.6 million U.S. gross and $236.1 million in today's money. $273.3 million worldwide, and as $465.7 million in today's money. So, okay, it made money, and then Will Smith got busy doing bullshit like I Am Legend and I, Robot. I hated those movies. He also did After Earth, which should have been called After Birth. So, I don't understand how the tech in this movie both looked, or was more updated, yet somehow looked more dated than in the 1995 movie. It actually was kind of baffling. So, Henry Rollins to the rescue. That's a phrase you don't want to hear. And, yeah, we go with 5.5 minutes of the credits playing over all this action stuff. The boys have infiltrated this KKK, Burning Cross meeting thing, this rally that's taking place right on the water. Why? I mean, why would you do any of that anyway, but why would you have it take place in the water? So, yeah, we get the N-word used. Don't use that in the comments, please. Just don't use it. Just stop. Get some help. The slow-mo is terrible. The terrible action scenes. And Marcus got shot in the ass, and that was a running gag a little bit later, in the sense that it made me gag that they kept stretching that goddamn thing out. Stretching out the shot in his ass. So, the comedy doesn't work. Guy drops E and basically ends up almost dying. Alexei was in this, or Alexei, the guy from Armageddon. He wasn't given much to do, but he's a pretty decent actress, or decent actor, that is. And what I really didn't like was Marcus was trying to be more calm and be more centered and more spiritual and the therapy stuff, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work the first time, and they kept going with it, and it wasn't funny. And whichever writer thought it was a good idea should have been basically told, you need to go find something fucking else to do. And Michael Bay thought it was funny. The Michael Bay's an even bigger dipshit than we all thought he was. So, Auntie Sid, a.k.a. Marcus's sister, she likes Will Smith. Will Smith likes her. They're two beautiful people. Ah, beautiful people. You can't really blame them. So, the giant mastiff, I think, is the most fleshed out character in this. He rips a pool not once, but twice. The gag didn't work the first time. And that's where Will Smith has to give out. That's some funny shit. Yeah, God, if only you had funny shit, not just shit in this. So, yeah, basically we just get a bunch... We get this incomprehensible, like, just messy goddamn plot. I mean, it's both simplistic and all over the goddamn place. People are just getting shot. There's this long chase scene that goes for a good 10 minutes. This movie is also 2.5 goddamn hours. Well, almost 2.5 hours. I think 2 hours and 20 minutes until the credits start rolling, which is some bullshit. The first one already was stretched out almost 2 hours. And this one somehow almost feels like 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's cool that they broke a bunch of cars, and Marcus was trying to be a peacekeeper, or pacifist, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to resort to violence, except when people are doing bad shit to you. So, and then of course we get all this, we get all these wrecks. Gabrielle Union's character gets caught in this stuff. She tries to free herself, and of course she causes a 10-car or 18-car pileup. Women drivers, am I right, lads? Ha-ha. No wonder my, the audience, male to, or man to woman ratio is way on the male side. But, yeah, there's dents in cars that disappear depending on your perspective. You see that? They're throwing cars. How am I not see that? That's not how English works, but whatever. That's not even how any English would work if you ran through AI, and I don't think they had that good of AI in 2003. So yeah, they're looking for the X-Man. Maybe they'll unite him with somebody. Another movie that came out in 2003 that was vastly superior to this. Johnny is a terrible villain. I mean, I'm not even saying the actor's terrible. Terrible villain. Absolutely terrible. They have this thing where his daughter's there, and His daughter, at one point, one brief scene near the end, has 2 cats. I hope the cats were okay. Cats deserve to be in better film than this. And they basically, the 2 leads, Will Smith and just Will and Martin, I'm just going to say that, they, kind of go good cop, or bad cop, idiot cop, and they're, we can't kill this guy, because they do this giant shootout that just takes forever, where they do this rotating camera thing that they do it at least 5 times. It's like, what the fuck? Shake Your Tail Feathers, I believe Nelly had something to do with that song. I haven't listened to it in a while. That is, at least snippets of that are played about 4 or 5 times in this, which, it's a fun song, but really? So, John Sally in this, I don't know why I laughed at the fact the former NBA player was in this. So, they, Will and Martin pose as exterminators, and there's this running theme, where they try to, get in the supervillain's house. And Will Smith talks about how they're humping rats and reproducing rats. And then there's a point where a rat's actually giving it to another rat. They fuck just like us. And who asked for this? Who wrote that? Who thought that joke was funny? You need to find something else to do. Terrible cops, by the way. They're always getting shot at and doing bad stuff. But the villains are even worse because they can't take out these 2 goofs. Johnny, terrible villain. And racist jokes between blacks and Hispanics, which they were barely funny in Rush Hour. I mean, looking back on it, but at least with Rush Hour, there was a breezy delivery to them. This just feels like we're going to say this and laugh. Please laugh. Please laugh. We want you to laugh. Please laugh at our jokes. We need to make more money with this. By the way, I did review Bad Boys for Life right before theaters shut down, before the pandemic hit. I might actually revisit it and see if I can add any more snark to it, because I remember thinking that movie was actually kind of all right in comparison to this one, but we'll see. There's 75 minutes left at this point. 75 minutes left, and it has been interminable by this point. A couple of cops have a cassette player. I know it was 2003, but Jesus Christ. That tape player was invented before beta was invented, from the looks of it. So, Marcus didn't know about her and Mike, even though it was all obvious and all. It's like the guy, it was like the son that realized that his dad was stealing, road signs at his work. When he got home, all the signs were there. I don't really know why in the world I decided to butcher that joke, but nevertheless, here's Michael Shannon as a Klansman again. He has done so much better than this. Bug wasn't better than this. I hated Bug. So, more Mike and Marcus arguing. Marcus has been saying that he is going to transfer to something quieter. He's going to stop being his partner. Obviously, since we get a third one 17 years after this. Good God. 17 years. Oh, I was 14 when the first one came out. I was 22 here. I was approaching 40 when the third one came out. I'm 43 now by that. And I will watch the fourth one. I don't know why. Probably because you guys, for whatever reason, seem to enjoy me losing my shit. I tend to take a lot of viewer requests. That being said, Dan Marino is here because Miami. If anybody doesn't know who Dan Marino is, you're not a longtime football fan. I don't even watch football anymore, but I remember Dan Marino. Guy should have won a Super Bowl, but he didn't. Also in the Hootie and the Blowfish video. Fun fact. So, nevertheless. It's also in Ace Ventura, the first one. I don't think he was in the second one. So, we get more car chases, because that's what we bloody need at this point, is just more car chases. If this movie had been trimmed down by about 30 goddamn minutes, I might have not minded it as much. It would have been over quicker, at least, because I was checking. I was like, I haven't watched this in years. I remember not liking it, but thinking, okay, time heals all wounds. Maybe I'll feel differently. No. This actually somehow feels more stretched out than ever before. And the whole thing is this guy, Johnny, is shipping the ecstasy and various drugs in bodies that are hollowed out. He owns a mortuary here, and he's going to ship them back to Cuba because he helps fund Castro stuff. Because it's back when Castro still was doing his stuff, and people thought that it was still a good idea to say that, oh, the embargoes were bad. It hurt the citizens, but I hope it hurt Castro. That being said, that's another story for another day. They're shipping the bodies, then the bodies are all piling around. Captain Howard's upset. His therapeutic stuff doesn't work either. I did note let the bodies hit the floor. This chase scene was still going. These chase scenes would last forever. I had a birthday during both of them. So, yeah, one corpse got run over. He lost his head on that. Captain Howard is even more annoying than usual because every joke that he says just feels forced. And Joe, he's actually funny. And Marcus says, we get Tappy, I'm out. Then we see a yearbook of memories where Will Smith was a bit of a nerdy kid. A nerd. We ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. And then there's this boy that's going to take out the daughter. That sounded a lot creepier. Going to take her out, just going to take her up behind the woodshed and old yeller her. No, going to take her out on a date, but then they scare him. In a scene that I don't know if they thought this was funny before, but Jesus Christ. Will Smith is acting drunk, much like he did on After Earth. Oh, wait, that was just me wanting to be drunk rather than watch After Earth. Should I retro review After Earth? Let me know in the comments. But, yeah, they go to the mortuary. They find out all this, where the drugs are and all this shit going on. And some of the ecstasy gets in a cup. And after throwing up, seeing a guy's, top of his head pop off, Marcus ends up consuming E and then does comedy with Captain Howard because goody, we haven't got enough bad comedy here. I hate you, Michael Bay. I hate the mere fact that you exist. You fucking dickwad. You ruined a whole bunch of goddamn horror movies by producing them and running them into the goddamn ground. You don't know how to produce a goddamn action movie anymore. The Rock was great, which I still say was in spite of the fact that Michael Bay had anything to do with it. This is so unfunny. Everyone is dumb. Everyone needed to die, is what I noted. So Sid gets taken. Sid, by the way, is Gabrielle Union's character. I actually had to remind myself of that because I forgot her name, and also because Psycho Sid in this would have been so much funnier. I don't know why Psycho Sid would have been a DEA agent. It's not like you couldn't have picked him out of police lineup. But his leg was healed by that point. If you know what I mean by his leg, snap. It was a real sin. So, now they go to Cuba to rescue her. We just go over to Cuba, and one of the cops has a brother that is part of the resistance that has a safe house that's literally right across from where the supervillain is. They have to get in these tunnels, and they get all this stuff, and they blow shit up. One's got a rocket launcher, they do all this. One has an RC car that has an explosive on it that nobody noticed under this vehicle. Stupid villains and just bad everything. The mother's there. The mother gets KO. That, whatever the hell she was. It looked like a Liberty Bell with a wig. And then the daughter got hit. The daughter looked like a Liberty Bell with a wig. So, yeah, they blow shit up and they aren't going to make it back to the tunnels. Stuff's just blowing up. The Cuban army's showing up for what good they are. Basically nothing because they can't catch shit. And the idea is Sid, Mike and Marcus are going to get in the Hummer and just drive down this hill and blow through all these shacks that these people put together that apparently have nothing but drugs in them because almost everything explodes. They get to Gitmo. They're on a minefield. Johnny's there, and they don't have any bullets left. The good guys don't. But then, suddenly, oh no, I have one bullet left, is what Marcus said. One bullet left. Hey, laughing boy, I know. And they do this thing where he shoots him in the head. And that's it, basically. And then Gabrielle Union, or however the fuck you say her name. And Will Smith kiss on the goddamn minefield. And then we get more pool comedy. And the dog rips the pool thing. And they sing Bad Boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the third one comes for you? Michael Bay needs to be brought up on war crimes for what he has done to film. This was terrible. And I know checking your brain at the door is kind of key, but you won't get your time back watching this. This was unfunny and just so goddamn bad. So let me know your thoughts on Bad Boys 2 in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.